do you really want to keep playing squash? And I was like, where did that question come from? Like it was a little shock to my system. I said, no, of course I'm going to play for another 5 years or so. But something didn't sit right when I said it. Hi, I'm Nicol David. I'm so happy to be here with sharing all of you. I'm a former World Squash Champion. I'm an AIA Malaysian ambassador. I'm also an advocate for mental health. So I'm so keen to be sharing about how we can help ourselves to think about mental health and also our physical health. But right now, let's have a thoughtful chat.
Nicol, going from being world number one for 9 years in a row to making that decision to retire must have been a very difficult decision. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that thought process?
Yeah, it was a big decision to make, but it took a while to actually come to that point of my realization that, squash is coming to an end for me. And it's not easy to admit to that until it came to a point where when I lost my world number one position, I was thinking, no, I shouldn't be at 2. I should be at number 1. And I worked even harder. I pushed myself, but the purpose was missing, because from that moment, something kind of broke. After I won my last World Open title, I was in the US Open and I lost in like the second round to a player where I have never lost to. And that's when my coach told me after that loss, well, actually she asked me that question, do you really want to keep playing squash? And I was like, where did that question come from? Like it was a little shock to my system. I said, no, of course I'm going to play for another 5 years or so. But something didn't sit right when I said it. And I didn't fully answer that question honestly. And when I went back to the hotel room, I was just crying my eyes out, because the reality just sunk in that I knew I only had 2 years left to give, and I don't have any more in my system to play the sport. Like I gave it all for the last almost 18 years, and this is all I got left. And I went through my process of emotional ups and downs, but I had a great support team. I had my closest friends around me. I had my family, and they all were there reminding me that it's okay. It's part of life, and you have so much more to look forward to, and you got all this experience with your squash that you can do something more for yourself. And I was letting it go slowly but surely. After a year, I finally decided that I'm going to make my announcement in after 1 year, and 6 months later, I was going to make that announcement, and I was preparing myself for my next chapter, which was very exciting. The moment I finished my last tournament and I was the happiest at my retirement. I'm like the happiest after that final point that I'm finally retired. So that process was truly a great experience, but it needed to happen, and I was fully thankful, even though it was tough.
How did the people around you help you come to terms with letting go?
So in the beginning, I was basically like bawling away all the time and trying to figure out what was going on. But I did do a lot of writing. I wrote down a lot of things, how I was feeling, and I think that's one of the things that really helped me through in like tough moments, where I just put it down on paper and acknowledge that this is happening to me, and being honest with myself. At the same time, I had very good friends and who were just there, sticking by me, and they were also from outside of squash. So it's like all more positive reinforcement on my on their side, but also with my family and my team, which is my coach Liz. She's also experienced that before, so she guided me through as well, that it's normal to go through this phase, and it's okay to be in a tournament not feeling at your best, and it's fine, but at the end, you are going to have those moments to get better and feel stronger in a different way. And I think love and care that is there always brings you up.
So, what's next for Nicol David?
For me, is purely giving back. I've been so blessed with all that I've achieved and all the experience I've gained, and I know that all this has a means for something more. So what I've achieved has a way to be shared and to be explored in different ways, and I want to do that through my foundation, which I'm in the process of building with my team, and to give back to girls and boys, empowering them through the values of sport, because I know how much sport has given me all the fundamental values of life. Another part is I want to also give back to the community and helping women and youth to really feel like they have what it takes to be someone they want to be, powerful, that stands up for themselves, and be bold to go and dream big. And that's why I want to tell my story and have motivational talks and speaking with you and yourself, and trying to share my story to hopefully inspire more people to go and do what they can do.
Nicol, how do you engage with your mental health?
I think my whole experience with my squash career and my personal life, my mental health was very vital in this development of my personal growth. I think in all the phases of my life, I think I grew so much more because I knew how my mental health was part of the reason why I am the person I am today, and looking after that and knowing that those things are going to happen, like good times, bad times, but how do you embrace that and take it on positively in some ways? And I think sport has really made that difference in my life.